What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Moment of Truth Network. It's your boy King Major and
MJ Nelson.
And right now we want to talk to y'all about our top 3 artists of the decade. And I'm gonna let my bro here start off first.
How you want to do this? You want to just like rattle off 3, and then want to go back and forth?
Yeah, let's go back and forth.
All right, I got an honorable mention before I start. My honorable mention might shock you. My honorable mention is Beyonce.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's my honorable mention spot.
Oh.
She did have a lot going on, a lot of Super Bowl performances, and a lot of albums released in a very successful decade. But I feel like these other 3 artists, they did their thing this year. So
hold on, can I have an honorable mention?
Go ahead. I didn't know if you had one in your bag.
Because you brought up a lot. You brought up a legendary singer.
Okay.
So my legendary singer honorable mention is gonna be Bruno Mars.
Okay.
Surprisingly, he wasn't on my top 3,
yeah.
but he's not my favorite. But dude is talented. He rocked the Super Bowl when he performed it.
He did.
The next
twice,
year,
right?
Yeah. I really wanted him to do a 3-peat because he's just so entertaining. He's not just to one kind of crowd. He's all across the board, and dude is very talented.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into these. So in my number 3 spot, I got Rihanna. So is it shocking?
You got Rihanna before Beyonce?
I got Rihanna before Beyonce. Here's why. So, musically, she didn't do a whole bunch this decade, but she did have a lot of hits in this decade that wasn't just booty shaking music, and I commend that. She did her thing, but what got her that spot was also her beauty line, because she is killing it right now in the beauty industry, and then her numbers on social media is crazy right now. So she basically had a well-rounded decade, and for that I commend her. She get the MJ Nelson hand clap of approval just for being a businesswoman and doing her thing in all facets. So who you got?
One of my artists of the decade has got to be one of my personal favorites, Kirk Franklin. Not Plies, but Kirk Franklin.
They the same person, bro.
Yeah, I know.
I think just Kirk Franklin is Plies without a hat.
Yeah. But I say Kirk Franklin because in this past decade, I want to say he dropped 4 projects.
He did.
And each one got progressively better in my eyes. And they weren't just the traditional gospel praise and worship. They was like, it's a more spiritual connection.
I feel that.
Like if you listen to his last project, he said, the title was Losing My Religion.
That wasn't the last one. It was one.
That was the one before.
The one before that. I'm sorry.
He just dropped one this year.
That was my favorite one. The one with the Love Theory.
That was the one he just dropped.
Yeah, that was the one he just dropped. My favorite one is Losing My Religion because he took a bold stance in front of the whole Christian community. Like, I'm not just here for the money. It's all about that spiritual connection with the Father. And he's not afraid to speak out on just anything.
And he a pastor too, right?
Yeah, he a pastor.
Yeah.
He a pastor. And he's not the traditional pastor where, he gotta have his shows on TV. He don't even promote his church for real. Like, so they can get money. It's just, it's about that spiritual connection. It's about one-on-one with God. So I mess with Kirk. That's one of my top 3.
Okay. All right, so my number 2, it might shock you. My number 2 is Drake. So, now, a lot of people, to contrary belief, they don't like Drake. A lot of people love him, a lot of people don't. They think he's too poppy, a culture vulture, which I agree. But you can't deny what he's done this decade. I mean, anything he touches turns to gold and it sells records. And he definitely did that. And, he was the ambassador of the Toronto Raptors. They got a ring, so that's a huge W as well.
That's real.
So he had a very productive decade. He put out a lot of good music. Albums been iffy. He did drop a couple good albums, but as far as singles, killed it.
He definitely took over in that arena. Get his music played on every radio station.
Yeah, nothing was the same as my favorite. So.
Yeah, he still got stuff playing from his old stuff on the radio station.
Definitely.
I mess with that.
Definitely.
Mine might shock you too. At number 2, this person, one of my favorites, J. Cole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was my number 3 at first. I dropped the number 5.
Well, see, I like J. Cole on KOD, he addressed a lot of things.
Agreed.
Personally, that a lot of rappers won't, even fail to mention. My favorite one when he was telling people to meditate and not medicate.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people won't get. They're like, man, forget that. I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to lean it up, and that just excuse me, I had to call. It affects people spiritually, and people are afraid to grow spiritually. They're afraid to get in tune with that side. So a lot of the newest stuff he's done, he's mentoring younger artists. Even though he's on a different wavelength, like the way he thinks, he's not afraid to collab with or give props to the younger artists, even if they do sound trash. So
I agree.
This is definitely his decade, though. He took over.
I agree. Did go platinum with no features 3 times in this decade.
Yeah.
Killed it. And he released some of the best projects this year. Born Center is one of my favorite albums. 2014 Forest Hill Drive is one of my favorites. I wasn't really a great fan of everything on KOD, but I respected it.
Mm-hmm.
But he definitely has 2 of my favorite albums from this decade, with Born Center and 2014 Forest Hill Drive.
Yeah.
And For Your Eyes Only was good too.
Yeah, definitely.
But number 1.
Oh man.
My number 1 artist of the decade, Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh.
Now, that may be out of left field for a lot of people, but my boy had a great decade. I'm telling you, look, started the decade off with Good Kid, Mad City. The best. I don't care what nobody say. Mm-hmm. That is the best album released in the last 15 years. You can put that on paper. That album, the best. All right? And the second best album followed up that with To Pimp a Butterfly. Yeah. So he has 2 of the best. If anybody's top 5, one of those albums is in there. Those 2 are in mine. Both of them.
Yeah, my favorite song of his is on that mixtape. I forget what it's called, but it was like Put God on the Phone. Mm-hmm. Said that's my
yeah.
Man, first time I heard that, like, it's hard to really fall in love with songs the first time you hear it.
That was Untitled and Unmastered.
Yeah, Untitled. I was like, man, what the heck? Like, I think Colin played it for me. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Hey, put that on repeat. Like, it's hard to find them songs nowadays. So
yeah, that's a fire one. But then also, it was just not just in a standpoint of him just having great music. He actually executive produced the Black Panther soundtrack, so that's fire as well. Yeah. Oh. You know what I'm saying? That's major. You know what I mean? He
no
put people on. He put people on. It was just like, and you look at his label mates as well. It's fire. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 things that I definitely commend people for, is having great label mates and making them bigger and better. I commend Kendrick and J. Cole for that, because J. Cole got probably the best roster in rap right now with Dreamville. So mine goes to Kendrick. Hats off to you, Kendrick, on a great decade. I'm waiting for the album dropping this year, so let's see what's going on. What you got?
So for my number 1, he on YouTube.
Oh God.
Ice JJ. I'm just playing. My number 1 might surprise a lot of people.
You better not say who I think.
Especially since I go to church, y'all might think it's a gospel album, or since I sing, it might be R&B. But my number 1 artist, I'll present to you guys next week. All right, y'all, we out. Make sure you like. I'm just playing. My number one artist is Kevin Gates.
Really?
Yes. And I say that, and I listen to him every day. Every day when I get off work, every day while I'm at work. Cause he brings so many different vibes.
How the hell you go from Plies, aka Kirk Franklin, to Kevin Gates?
I'm not biased with my music. I'm open.
Not either, but
and that's why I say it might surprise people, cause like you wouldn't even think, Kevin Gates, But if you really listen to his music, he's not afraid to touch on anything. I really mess with him as a person. That's what really opened my eyes to his music. That's what really opened my eyes to his music. He's very open-minded. He's very into learning about stuff. But his music, man, it's a totally different vibe. It's not the regular street stuff, and it's not the regular mainstream stuff. And I believe he's personally been blackballed from mainstream. Like he's definitely one of the top artists. He's better than a lot of these new people that are out today. But for some reason, you don't hear him on radio. But I mess with his new project. I mess with his old project, Isla. Mm-hmm. He got a lot of hits, a lot of bangers from Two Phones from back then to Getting Out the Mud to Effing Right. Man, I could go on all day about Kevin Gates, but that's my number one personally. He just give me just a different type of vibe that everybody don't bring.
Yeah, I enjoy Kevin Gates' music. You know, it's like I like Louisiana music because one of my personal favorites is Boosie, and a lot of people don't mess with that, but it's like I do enjoy that Louisiana music because you know Wayne from Louisiana too, so there's a lot of great rappers coming from Louisiana. But
you probably thought I was gonna say T Grizzly, didn't you?
No, I thought you was gonna say. I thought you was gonna say DDG, but I was like,
no offense.
No, that's what I thought you was gonna say.
No offense.
But I digress. But all right, so thanks for watching another episode of Emotion Network or whatever. We'll see y'all later on.
Turn those post notifications on
and subscribe.
Leave a comment.
I'll see y'all later.
Deuces.
Peace.